Hey, how you doing, guys? How are you? Welcome to Diamond League, StarCraft 2 Zerg versus Protoss from the Zerg's perspective. And yeah, if you guys don't know how replay analysis work, it's basically like a coaching lesson that is done at my pace rather than a normal coaching lessons pace. Because there's no Q&A going back and forth. I'm not guiding someone through it. I'm just kind of... It is a video, so you can always pause it, rewind it, listen to it 5 times in a row if you want to. I go at a faster pace. I just break down what I see and what I think is important. And yeah, this will be a diamond level game. So I'll be breaking stuff down that's relevant for what I would think is diamond level play. And yeah, we're going to talk about it. So first and foremost... Your drone's already a bit late. Test about going to your natural, okay? Drone's already late. So if you're going to go for a 17 hatch, you have a very high chance of being blocked, right? If you're going to go for a 16 hatch, that is correct. But make sure if you're going to go for a 16 hatch, you want to rip that drone off that mineral line at 180. Because if you do that, you will generate from 180 to 300 right as your drone arrives right there. You generate roughly on most maps about 120 minerals if you 16 hatch it by the time you pull your drone off. So you want to pull off about 120 before 300, which is 180. So you're super fucking late on this hatchery. I am 100% guaranteeing you're going to get blocked if this guy is trying to do that at all. Okay, yeah. So you threw your hatchery down at 385 minerals. That's fucking super late. Thank God for you, he wasn't trying to block you, right? So crisis averted right there. Now your hatchery is just maybe like 3 seconds later than it should have been, or 4 seconds later than it should have been. But it's okay. It is what it is. You still got it down. So the horrible situation that could have happened didn't happen. Okay, you're also fucking up your larva usage a little bit. This is definitely you're waiting so long to spin shit. Because you waited until you had 385 to make this, and then you waited until you had, like, how much to make these larvae right here? You didn't larva cap, though. So the worst things possible that it could have happened didn't happen. But, like, for instance, if you know you're going to build a hatchery, you should just make one drone. If your drone is this fucking late, just make a drone. Because if you can do the math on it, right? You're like, oh, 75 minerals? I got plenty to make a drone and still have enough to make a hatchery. Because you had 375 a second ago. So, kind of wasting your time, right? And you don't start making your larva out of, like, you have 200, or sorry, 100 to spin 2 larvae with already. Just chilling. You don't actually spend your larva until you had 145. You just started it, and you maybe like 140 to 145. Because you had 50 more than what you have now. So it's super late. It's just very late. It feels like you're just AFKing the early game a little bit. Okay, now you see this. And what this looks like, this does not look... I'm going to tell you right now, if I were to guess what this is a fucking cannon rush with zealots. This is not just zealots. Anyone who thinks this is just zealots, it's probably not. Because if it is just zealots, number one, this dude should have put it a little bit further back. And number two, he probably wants to make more than 2 gateways if it's just zealots. But what he did was he put 2 gateways on the front of a pylon, so you can't actually kill that pylon as it seems with surface area. I don't know if that's a gap. The gateway might be walling off right there. It's kind of hard to say. I know it's for sure walling off there, but that's kind of hard to tell if the gateway is actually connecting the wall there, because there's sometimes it looks weird, but it is walled. But either way, I feel like this guy's going to cannon rush you with the zealots. And what I would say was your response, either way, whatever it's going to be, what you should do right now is... You don't have to cancel a drone. You do not have to cancel a drone, okay? Do not feel like you have to cancel a drone. I would say just make a fucking a spawning pool first as fast. Do not make a gas. Make a spawning pool first as fast as you fucking can. And you have 2 choices how to defend this. If you do want to overall take a gas as well, Ravagers, in my opinion, should be what you do. If you want to take, like, you should be going Lings into Ravager or something like that. And that would be fine versus Cannon Rush. If you want to go for no gas, then you can go Lings, Queens, and possibly even Spines as well. But if you just go Speedling Expand, I don't think that's great. I love that you didn't take a gas yet. I want you to pool. Okay, I don't know what's going on here. I think you're panicking a little bit. Okay. So, your shit's late as fuck. Look at this. Time is of the essence when you're dealing with this kind of stuff, right? Time is of the essence. Every second counts. Just like every second counted on this hatchery. You want to know why? Because if he is cannon rushing you, every second you have longer on the hatchery means that the closer it is to being done, and when it is done, it pushes creep out to prevent the Protoss from building buildings further towards you. Also, you can plant your spine there, whatever the hell you want to do. You can make a queen there faster. Now, watch this. 18 supply right now. Totally fine. I do not mind that you droned up to 18 supply. That's totally fine because you actually did that before you saw this. I love that your Overlord saw this because I love that you're scouting your hatchery. Now, watch this. You can make a spawning pool at 112. 112 you can make a spawning pool, right? And that spawning pool should be going down right now. It's priority numero uno. This drone right here that just spawned should have egg rallied like right here or right there or right here. I don't give a shit where you put it. Make that pool immediately. You could pop this thing down by 112 or 113. If you could do it by 113 probably if you had to run 1 second, like build it there or something, or build it there. Like you, or there, or whatever. Again, anywhere you can fit it around your base. Put that shit down right now. Now let's watch and see how fucking late you build your pool. 112 is when you had enough money for it. You built it 11 seconds later. 123 is when you built your pool. 11 seconds when you're getting cheesed is pretty fucking impactful. That's huge. That's a lot of time to waste and not do anything with it. There's no reason why that should have been so late like that. But again, I would say you have choices, and those choices are Ling Queen, possibly also adding in Spine. I would definitely add a Spine if you're going to go Ling Queen, because you don't even need a gas then. At early. And if you're going to go Ling Queen, you could even take a third base really fast. And if you're going to go Ravagers, definitely got to take a gas. Ravagers kind of scary, though, because the gateways are so proxied in your face. So I would tell you right now, if this is what I would say. If this was full on a forge with cannons, like if it was just like cannons going down right now, if it was like triple pylon and a cannon, I'd be like, yeah, I agree with the gas and going Ravagers. That's totally fine. But the fact that it's actually double gateway right now, I actually kind of don't agree with the gas and the pool. Like the pool, yes, obviously, but the gas not so much, because the gas isn't gonna turn into anything for you until much later, and this is already like it's not proxied over here. It's not proxied over here. It's not proxied way over here. It's proxied at your fucking natural. You're gonna have nothing gas-based in time to deal with this. The only way I would ever say gas would make sense for you now would be if you are confident that you're gonna stop this with while having a gas with whatever else you're gonna have, like Lings and Queens or whatever, and then you're gonna launch some type of a counterattack. Like you're gonna go for a really quick layer and Nidus him or some shit. Then I'd be like, okay, yeah, you're doing like a counter-aggressive follow-up to what he's doing because you took a gas. But if you're just playing a standard Speedling Expand build, I don't think this is the most intelligent time to take your gas. Because you're going to invest drones into gas and then upgrade into gas. And that's going to tie up a lot of your minerals, which you need really badly right now, for something that's not even going to affect you until 2 minutes later. So we'll see what happens. Now he's double chronoing his zealots. And what are you doing? You're making a spine crawler. You're mining triple gas, double spine crawler. So check this out really quickly. Watch this. Your pool should be finishing right now. Simultaneously, when your pool's finishing, what I would rather you have done, think about this for a second. What I would rather you have done is not taken this gas Your supply would be at 20 instead because of that. I would rather you have also made an overlord so you don't have a close supply block because you're about to make a lot of lings, and like treat this like it's a fucking 12 pool or something like that. Like with your larva usage. What I would have wanted you to have done is try to time it, because if, again, people who don't know this, it's very easy to time a pool with larva. You generate 1 larva every 10 seconds. And if you can look at your spawning pool and go, we're about 10 seconds out, that means you have enough time to generate 1 more larva. So if you're at 2, perfect. Because you're going to generate 1 more in that 10 seconds. So what you should do is get an overload. Like, imagine if you had this drone not as a gas, and then these 2 drones also on the mineral line. So you had 19 drones on the mineral line right now. That would allow you to build a spine or build 2 spines and still be fully saturated. And let's say, hypothetically, that larva that would have been an overlord was a drone instead. So let's say one of these drones also, the 3rd drone now is gone. So instead of 19 out of 16, you're only at 16 out of 16 because those 3 drones are 2 spines and an overlord, which is totally fine. You could easily afford it. And then when your fucking pool finishes, which would be right now, if your fucking pool was not 11 seconds delayed, like we looked at already earlier, right? Remember, we talked about that earlier. You could be making lings right now, which would mean 17 seconds from now, because that's the build time of a Zergling, you could be making 6 lings out of your main immediately. And if your natural wasn't delayed, you could be making lings out of your natural at the same time. So you could be making 8 lings and 2 queens and 2 spines all together. And that would be finishing 17 seconds from now. For the lings, at least. The queens are a much longer build time. It's a 36-second build time. And the spine crawlers are about 43. Or no, sorry, they're 36. I don't know why I thought they were 43. They're 36 just like a queen is. So those are not going to be done with the initial zealot push. But your 8 lings would be. And if you had 8 lings, look at the difference of time. 157. What is 157 plus 17 seconds? It's 2:14. Okay? 2 minutes and 14 seconds. Now watch what happens until 2:14. You would have lings popping out right now as he's walking up your ramp into your main. This is why timing is fucking important when you're defending all-ins like this. You don't want to waste time doing nothing for no reason. And if you had 8 lings right now, you could then also have lings 9 and 10, 11 and 12 out of the next 2 larvae, because 14 or 17-second build time on a ling means you're going to have more time to make more larvae generating out of your hatcheries. So you could have another couple of lings spawning. You could overpower these zealots really fucking hard in your base. If they run into your mineral line, pull your drones for just a quick second, attack with your lings, get rid of the zealots, and then go kill the cannons. Remember what I said, how it's going to probably be a cannon rush? It makes sense that it's going to be a cannon rush with the gateways because nobody fucking goes proxy 2-gate against Zerg. It just doesn't exist. It's a shit build if someone does that. The only reason, because they have way more money than 2-gate costs. So if someone ever proxy 2-gates you, it's probably going to be cannons as well. 99% chance of that happening. So we can see, oh, he's making cannons. So if you actually had lings popping out right now, just imagine if you had 6 lings in the main, and what if you had 2 lings in the natural and just go plop right on that cannon right there? And then what if you kill that cannon right off the bat? Because again, your lings would be spawning right now. So you kill the cannon really early into its build time, and you maybe even kill the probe. And the rush is just fucking over. This could be such an easier defense than you might think it might have been if you just prioritize and like don't fucking waste time. And your lings don't actually spawn until 2:33. 2:30. That's fucking 19 seconds. That your lings were delayed as well. So if we look back, go back now and watch your hatchery when your pool's done. Lings should be priority number 1. Make that shit fucking immediately, and then immediately queens. Your pool finishes at 2:09 with the game we just are now witnessing, right? Or is it 2:08 or 2:09? Let's be exact here. It's 208, right? Yeah, it's 208. Or no, that's sorry, it's 209 because you can make lings right now. 209. So you can make lings right now at 209. How long do you wait to make lings from 209? So this is another delay in your build. You make lings at 216. Everything is so delayed. You didn't start making lings until your second larva spawned out of your hatchery at your natural. That's so fucking late for defending something like this. Which is why this is now a problem. This doesn't have to be a problem. And now, as a result of this, you're losing crazy amounts of fucking drones. You just... Oh my god, I just hit fucking, like, restart replay. Jesus Christ. Let's go back to right when that happened. Okay, so you just lost 7 drones. 7 fucking drones right there. Just died. 7 goddamn drones just died. You're down to 10 workers now versus 22 probes. And you want to know something else about this? You can read everything about Perdos if you just know how to look at things. This was going to be Cannon Rush, as we talked about already, for the reasons we talked about. It's too fucking cheap otherwise. Like, the Protoss would have way too much money. Now, you want to know what else? I can already tell the Protoss's follow-up to this is to expand. And you want to know why I know that? Because he's not Cannon Rush. He's not walling himself in here. He's walling himself in here. And the reason why he's doing that is because he's going to build a fucking Nexus. So, the fact that you are now down this many drones means that even if you don't die to this, you're going to die to the follow-up of whatever this is, because this game is already fucked. Horrible creep tumor. Okay. So creep tumor, like, think about it like this again, right? What does that creep tumor do? What problem does that creep tumor solve right now? I feel like what that creep tumor solves is it keeps creep in the area for when the hatchery's dead, so that you could then put spines to fight the cannons, which means you're already guaranteeing that your hatchery's just gonna die, and your hatchery doesn't even have to die right now. And the reason why it doesn't have to die is because you made lings, queens, and spines. Now, if you walk down this fucking ramp and you get blocked because you put this fucking creep tumor in the middle, which is going to block your fucking queens and spines. A queen and a spine can't fit through that, by the way. They cannot fit through that. So you just path blocked the shit out of your units. What would have been better off for you would have been saving your energy on your queens, on both of them, and transfusing each other or your spines as you take a fight against the cannons. Because look how much energy you already have. This queen was also late, by the way. You could have had queens faster. Same thing as what we talked about with your lings. Your queens could have been faster. And you could have easily have had transfused in time to deal with this cannon rush before your hatchery dies. Easily. If the cannons actually got up like they did. And remember what we talked about as well with the creep fucking over the Protoss's building placement? Imagine how much harder it would have been as well if your hatchery was faster and did more creep in his way faster. You can't make cannons as easy. Like, all these things. You're just so late on everything. But now, if you walk down that ramp, you're going to get stuck behind that creep tumor until it's done. Yeah, you're rooting on the high ground now. So you're just confirming that the hatchery's going to die. This is such a waste of time. You should be saving this hatchery. Another mistake you made was you made drones. You were making drones during this. I do not know why you're making drones during this. You're guaranteeing you're gonna lose if you're making drones right now. Now, the only exception to that is I can understand why you might feel like you need to make drones, because you let like 7 of them die already to 2 zealots. And then you also made spines. So you lost 9 drones already at the start of the game, which is a fucking lot of drones. But if you make drones and you solidify the fact that you're going to be on 1 base contained Zerg versus a 2 base Zerg here, the only way you have a chance of winning this game is if you immediately rush a layer and go all in him right now. It's like the only way this would ever have made sense. And if your plan is not to do that, what was the point of sacking the hatchery? You should have just not lost your drones because you would have made lings on time and then made lings non-stop until you were for sure fucking guaranteed that you were going to kill this, and then make drones once you know this problem is solved. Because then you have 2 base Zerg versus 1 base Protoss, who is starting to become a 2 base Protoss. But what it is now is you're turtling on a 1 base Zerg versus now a soon to be 2 base Protoss. This fucker's going to expand any second now. And there it is. You're so dead right now. Because you want to know what else is behind this? 99% of the time, this is going to be a Stargate. And the reason why it's going to be a Stargate is because a Stargate is so godly at defending like lots of types of pressures. So if this dude, all he's got to do to beat you now, especially since you now just committed to going for a hatchery-based Roach Warren on 1 base versus a 2 base Protoss, all he has to do is make a Stargate behind this Cybercore, which he can very easily do because he's already mining gas and he has a good probe count. If he makes 1 Void Ray, you're just dead. Like, he won't kill you with 1 Void Ray, but you'll never kill him, and he's got an advantage in the economy department where he will run you over with it over time. You are essentially screwed right now. We'll see what he does, right? But this is not the position you would have ever wanted to have been in. Like, this is what it's... I'm still going to... Again, I say this all the time. I always say this because it's really important that people know this. Because people don't think about it this way, but it's so fucking important to know this. This game is already a failure. I will still talk about it, but this game is already a loss. You should already have ruled this game off as a loss from this point on. This game is fucking terrible for Zerg. From now, going forward. This is like saying, I'm going to go get in a fight with somebody, but I tell you what, before we fight, I want you to break both of my arms, and I'll try to bite you instead. I got a fucking strong bite. Like, this is not a good position to be in. From the beginning of the game. Really bad. So, don't think, oh, this is every Zerg's game. Not good. 'Tis but a flesh wound. It's but a flesh wound. What should have happened is what we already talked about. Not letting your natural die by knowing what this was going to be before it happened, and then having a good response to it, like going Ling, Queen, Spine, delaying your gas a little bit, and then, you know, taking your gas after you deal with the problem, or once you have enough money to deal with the problem with enough minerals on hand. This was not a good response at all. So you've definitely handicrappered yourself pretty hard here. And now you're going for Ravagers. And Ravagers are definitely going to bust you out of this. For sure. That's 100% going to happen. I would say, honestly, if I were you as well, though, if you're going to bust out of this with Ravagers, put your fucking spines, like, right there and right there. Move these bad boys a little bit further forward. Why should you do that? Because you can poke the Zealots from further forward. Like, this spine color right here could poke a Zealot all the way out to there. Right? But where your spine colors are right now, the only way you're going to poke a Zealot is if they're, like, right there. Like, literally, like, standing, like, right there is when you can poke a Zealot. When he's already up the ramp. If you had him further forward, right here and right here, you could actually aggressively push the cannons back while poking Zealots with spines more often. More DPS for you. Because what is he gonna? Why is the Zealot still here? He's gonna defend the cannons in the battery. Now, also, missed opportunity again. Test. Missed opportunity again, my friend. You're corrosive biling on one cannon in the center of one cannon, and you're also walking in range of that cannon to do that. None of this was how it should have gone. What you should have done is walked down, like, right here in a single, like, literally, you're standing here, right? Click, like, right here. So your units go down the ramp and they come back like this, back a little bit, and they single file like that. Now what you do when you're here is you then corrosive bile from this location right there. Right in between the battery and the cannon. And the reason why you want to do that is because he's overlapping these buildings with each other. He is doing building overlap, which means you can AoE them. You can also shoot a cannon further than a Ravager. You can shoot a cannon out of range of a cannon with a Ravager shot if you shoot the edge of the building. Corrosive Bile has a longer range if you shoot the edge of the building than a cannon has auto attack range. So you could actually have killed the battery and the cannon together out of range of the cannon. It would have taken 5 hits, and you could have killed both of these buildings. You only have 4 Ravagers, so what you would have realistically, what you would have done is you would have done 4 shots, almost killed these 2 buildings, and then the battery would have healed up the cannon to full shields by the time your next Ravager cooldown was ready. You do another 4 shots, and then both of them die because the cannon is still too low on HP, and it dies in 4 hits. And then the battery also dies because it's also too low. That's what could have happened. And then all that would leave then would be this battery and this cannon, and this battery could easily be auto-attacked down, out of range of that cannon, and then you could either kill that cannon with Corrosive Bile or kill the pylon. And then everything's underpowered. You could have done any one of those things. But you want to know what all of these things have in common? There's nothing you can do right now to deal with a fucking Stargate. If this guy decided to go Stargate while you're dealing with this, and his Stargate's back at home, you are fucking dead. You keep running in range. So he's actually going Robo. So you actually have a chance. You actually have a chance. You could have totally won this game still. This guy, going Robo is like the worst fucking... this is the most greedy, stupid choice you could have done. You actually have a chance to break this because there's a Robo here. But you keep... Like, you're just hitting the cannon. You have to AoE your biles on buildings if Protoss is letting you do that. Because you Corrosive Biling this cannon one by one, like one building at a time. He's got a battery and another battery that's going to heal it forever. And you're spreading out your biles right there. Don't ever... No! God damn it, Test! No! Fucking stack those biles. Stack those fucking biles and hit both buildings. Look at this. I want to tell you something. Right here. You just did 4 biles, right? 4 biles on that one cannon, correct? You did this is the... How many times did you do this? How many times did you do this? Okay, so you just did it the first time. 4 biles right there. 60 times 4 equals 240, right? Now, if you hit the battery and the cannon at the same time, you would have done 480 damage instead of 240. Think about that. You do it again. $960 fucking damage from 2 rounds of bile if you hit both buildings. You would fucking delete these things if you stack your damage. Fucking do the middle of the building. Do the middle of the building. You could do it easily. Right there. You can hit both buildings. Easy peasy. You're missing so much opportunity here. And then you do it again. You know what this means? What is this one now? This is 1420. This could have been 1420 damage here, right? Something like that. Like, there's so much damage you're missing out on. And you want to know what's crazy? You could have done, at this point, you could have done 240 damage, or 1420 damage, sorry. 1,420 damage, but you know how much you've actually done? You've done 240 times 3 equals 720. Jesus. You've actually done 720 damage. Wait, did I do this wrong? Is this 1440 then? This is 1440, right? I didn't do the math right. It's actually 1440. Yeah, my bad. I did the math wrong. It's 1440 for real. So you could have done 720 damage on the fucking... or per building. You're only doing it on one building. And you're doing it on a building that can be healed repeatedly. It's just... You are wasting so much fucking time right now. Like, for instance, you know... let me give you an analogy, okay? I'm going to give you an analogy. There's 2 guys that live in the same house. And they're both in bedrooms that have a window. And there's a zombie outbreak. And then both of them have a zombie breaking down each one of their doors. And then one of them has a zombie break down their door. And what does he do? He has like a plate in his hand or something. He throws the plate at the zombie's head. And then he opens up his window and jumps out the window as fast as he can. He gets the plate in the zombie's face. And then jumps out his window and all of them out 5 seconds. He's in and out. He's fucking out of there. He doesn't waste a second. And the second guy, which is what you are doing this game, is a zombie breaks down his door and he's got a headset on, full blast, and he's got music on. And he doesn't even know what's happening. And then the zombie fucking walks into the room and stumbles and falls over and hits the back of his chair. And then he's like, hey, stop fucking pushing my chair. He doesn't even know there's a zombie in the room yet. It's just, his chair's wiggling and shit. He doesn't even know what's going on. And then finally, the zombie grabs his arm and then he feels his arm starting getting bitten into. And he's like, oh, there's actually a zombie in here. And maybe I should react now. After it's already fucking too late. Like, and then the other guy, the first guy who jumped out of the window in 5 seconds, he's already halfway across the fucking street, like down the fucking road. He's like made like so much distance from the house by now. He's just gone. He could barely hear you yelling from that point. So, you know, that's kind of what it's like. That's just what it's like. That's what you're doing in this game to yourself. You're wasting so much fucking time doing nothing repeatedly in every stage of this game so far. And right there, the last one, right? What you just did right here. Let's point it out really quick with your biles. You cast one bile here. This only hits the battery. The first bile here only hits the battery. Second bile, good bile. You hit both buildings. But you want to know what's bad about that? You walk in range of the fucking cannon and the battery. Let me tell you, this is very important to know this. Zerg players, stop fucking doing this if you do this. Please tell me the difference between casting a corrosive bile where this one is right there or casting it right there. What is the difference? I'm going to tell you right now, secret, no difference. There is no difference. It does the same damage to both buildings. The only real difference is one of them makes you have to walk deeper into the cannon than the other. And if you cast the bile on the backside of the cannon, it means you walk into auto attack range of the cannon. As you can see, it is shooting your ass. And you're taking free fucking damage that the Protoss loves. It'd be like saying, what's the best way you can fight a zombie? I don't know. I'm going to take my bare knuckles and punch him in the mouth. I might still kill the zombie, but he's going to bite my fucking hand 10 times in the process. No. Incorrect. That's how Chads do it. No, wrong. Don't do that. And now you're doing it again. You're not casting it on the fucking battery. You're only going to hit the cannon. You could have killed both buildings. This pile or this battery could have died so many times over. Oh, if you just fucking AoE'd the buildings together.
Hi, Mr. Vibe. It has been a long 11 months, but it went fast. Pandemic speed. Thanks for streaming. It kept many focused on more important things. Smile.
Nice. Delight. LJ Delight. Thank you for the sub, dude. Much love for the 11. I appreciate it a lot, man. And I'm glad you've been enjoying it. And it's helping the pandemic feel like less crappy. Thank you, dude. But yeah, this guy stacked buildings on both sides. Cannon battery stacked on both sides of the battery. And you didn't AoE either time. And then now what are you going to do? You're going to waste time auto-attacking down the battery. And what's that going to do? Every second you keep wasting is more seconds he could possibly get an immortal out. Thank God this guy sucks. The only reason why you have a chance, why you even have a chance from this point on, is because what the fuck is this Protoss doing as well? You've been making so many mistakes, and this Protoss is not capitalizing on any of them. Kill the fucking pylon. You need to kill that pylon, Tesked. This is one pylon powering an immortal production building, a robo, and 2 gateways. If you just fucking auto attack down these buildings, why not just walk up into the edge of the buildings and auto attack on the pylon, which has like 1/5 the amount of health? Or it's really like almost like a third. It's like 200 versus 500, literally. It's not a fifth. I was thinking like 200 versus 1,000, but there's shields as well. So yeah, it's 400 versus 1,000. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. You could have easily killed this pylon. He's baiting the Protoss to make more things. I would be, if I was a Zerg in this position, I'm not gonna lie, I would be like, holy fuck, I've wasted so much time and this guy's expanded. What am I doing right now? I would be like, you know what I would say, honestly? If I were you as a Zerg player, this is what I would, if I pushed your ass out of the chair, it was like, let me fucking play this game. You know what I would do? I would kill that fucking pylon. I would leave the rest of these buildings, not even touch them. I'd be like, I'm out of here. I'd go to the base immediately and try to fucking do as much damage as I could to equalize the game, because otherwise you are so fucking dead. And you know what I would do to cover the pylon here? Because I just killed the pylon to make sure that I don't want to like repower these later. I would tell a queen to drop a creep tumor here as soon as I leave with my roaches and ravagers. And my queen could kill a probe if it tried to come in and plant a new pylon. And then by the time the creep spreads, these buildings don't even matter because you can't build pylons there anyways anymore. Who gives a shit? Waste of investment for Protoss then. And then I would also re-expand. You gotta do something efficient with your time. If you just sit here attacking a gateway and then let an immortal spawn. Not the most effective use of the time here. You're AoEing these buildings. What the fuck? You just AoE'd the gateway and the robo together. Why wouldn't you do that with the cannon and the battery? Also, you should kill the pylon. In this position, I'm proud of you for AoEing 2 buildings together, but why the fuck would you not kill the pylon? He just recalled out an immortal now, and now it's going to be a problem breaking this base. Test. Okay, dude. Oh my god. This Protoss is so fucking bad. You have so many chances to win, dude. Test. Get your fucking ass over there and bile down those cannons and fucking kill this guy. Oh my god, go. What are you doing? Bro, get the fuck over there now. Oh no. Oh my god. It's Protoss. This Protoss is a clown. Oh my fucking god, dude. Fucking go, Test. Okay, let's count this, right? How much time went by? Imagine imagine if you just killed the pylon. If you fucking attack this pylon right now, you could have killed this pylon in about 8 seconds. That's being very generous. You could have killed it in like 4 seconds. 2 or 3 auto attacks from all these units and a round of bile could have killed this pylon. You could have been done with this pylon by just after, we'll just say, to be fair, 6:12, 8 seconds. We'll say 8 seconds is super fair. Easily have killed this pylon in 8 seconds. Okay? You could have really killed it in like 4 seconds. But we'll say 8 seconds. 8 seconds, to be really fair. 6:12. You could have been done with the pylon already. It could be underpowered, and you could be popping a creep tumor down here to not let him repower it with a new pylon later on. You could be walking across the map. And walking across this map from natural to natural would probably take you about 25 seconds. So, or like 20 seconds-ish. Wait, we just went a little bit deeper. We actually went, that's 30 seconds. Let's go back a little bit. 32 is actually 20 seconds. Because you were done with it. You could have been done with it by 6:12.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
right now, your Ravagers could be like right here.
Hope her doing well, vibe.
Thank you, Sherbert. Thank you for the 7. Much love. I'm doing great. Thank you, dude. Welcome back to the VFam for another month. Your roaches and ravagers could be right here, right now, honestly. What does he have right now? Look at that. What does the Protoss have right now?
I do not know about you, but I am here for the excellent analogies. Thank you, sir, for the great educational content.
Thank you very much, Zukov Sadi. I'm glad you like the zombie analogies. I don't always do zombie analogies, but I did them today. Thank you, though, dude. Much love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. My man. But do you see what he... Like, do you see this? He's got nothing. This dude has fucking nothing at 20 seconds after you could have killed the pylon. He's got literally nothing. Why does he have nothing? Because he put all of his fucking production here. Because he's an idiot. Hacker, if you're a VFam viewer, I don't mean it. Now back to you, Tesked. This dude put all of his production here. You could have fucking done so much damage to him if you just attacked his base. Now let's watch. How long do you fucking wait after you have to kill every building with an OCD? Every building dies at 6:42. How long do you sit here with your thumb up your ass? 6:42. You sit here for 33 seconds. You are just now starting to leave your natural. 33 seconds later. And then you get to his base. And you're not fucking AoEing again. Dude, Tess, you're killing me with this fucking Ravager usage. Fucking cast it in the middle of the buildings. You're just going like a wild paintbrush all over his fucking cannons, all like left to right. AoE them. You do 100% efficient damage on both of them because this dude stacks his fucking buildings. And even if he didn't, kill one at a time. There we go. There we go. Look at that. You did so much damage. Okay. Oh, now Ravager's gonna die. You're walking into them so fucking much. If you walked into them with the roaches, I would have been like, that's okay. Attack them down. Like, corrosive bile the center of them and focus fire them down. One focus fire, each cannon will die, guaranteed. Especially if you do biles on both of them. You have to understand, if you're gonna bile, fucking cast bile on the edge of the building, and you shouldn't ever get hit by a cannon. If you're getting hit by cannons repeatedly... Let me give you another analogy. Let's say you're driving a car and you're driving in a neighborhood where, in this neighborhood, people like to park their car on the street, on the edge of the sidewalk. And you can drive that car in the middle of the street and not hit a car. And what you're doing is you're turning your car into the fucking parked cars and you're hitting each one of their fucking rear view mirrors on like the side of their... Like you're slamming into their fucking driver's side doors or whatever. Or their passenger side doors, whatever the fuck door, however they're parked. Whatever side of the road you drive on. You know what I mean? Like you're just driving into parked cars repeatedly. You're just scraping paint. You're knocking off all their mirrors off the edge of the door repeatedly on all the cars. And it's like, did you have to do this? No. But are you doing it? Yeah. You just feel like taking damage on your side. Dude, you could cast the biles. You can cast the biles right there and take no damage every time. And you have been shot by so many cannon shots this whole game so far. Honestly, just go at this point. You have so many roaches. Now, here's another math problem. Do you know how much this does in damage? If you're someone out there that doesn't know this, you should know this. Do you know how much... It's very easy if you think about it in a certain way. Do you know how much 12 roaches do per auto attack? Because a Ravager and a Roach have the same auto attack damage, by the way. Not the same auto attack speed. A Ravager's a little bit faster, but the same auto attack damage per volley. It's the same. If you don't know how much that is, you need to fucking learn that. And here's what it is. It's 16 And do you want to know what 10 times 16 is? Not even 12 times 16. Do you know what 10 times 16 is? It's 160. And you want to know what's special about that? It's more than half of the total HP of a cannon. How much does a cannon have? 300. 150, 150. 150 health, 150 shields. If you're doing 160 plus per auto attack, you can theoretically kill a cannon in 2 auto attacks. Now, to be fair, a shield battery is going to fuck that up a little bit, right? But if you also have 4 Ravagers with Corrosive Bile, you know what Ravager Corrosive Bile hits for? 60. And you want to know what a fucking pack of roaches can hit for? If you can hit 4 biles at 60 per bile, doing 240 damage to a 300 health structure, leaves 60 hit points left to go, which means 5 biles kills a cannon in 1 shot, but you only have 4, so it will live with 60. All you gotta have is enough auto attack damage to do 60 damage and you'll kill it. And you have the auto attack damage of 12 times 16, which is fucking 192, right? It's 12 times 16, 192? Am I right on that or am I wrong on that? Let's look at this. 12 times 16. 192. You just gotta do 60. And you have 192 there. You gotta understand numbers a little bit. And that's not even including plus 16 more. If you didn't let your fourth Ravager die, which would have you would have had 13 units instead. So you'd have had 208 damage in auto attack here. That is fucking more than enough to kill the cannon if you Corrosive Bile at the same time. You could easily have walked your roaches into these cannons and just went auto attack, auto attack. Time is of the essence right now. You're wasting so much of it. Just like we talked about earlier. Why are you being so passive when you also have 9 roaches here? Just fucking go. If this was a cannon rush situation and all you had were like 3 Ravagers and that was it, then I'd be like, yeah, totally fucking use your biles. Don't auto attack the cannons. But you have 9 roaches. This is 8 minutes later. This is missed opportunity. And now the Void Ray pops out. And now you have a fucking problem. This Void Ray is so late as well, but he made it anyways. And now you have a problem. And you turn around and go home. This is brutal for you. This is now like, again, let me pause it here and say this. This is another position in the game where I would say, guys, remember how the first time I said this is not a position you want to be in? Both your arms are broken. Now, like, both your legs are broken. The only thing about this game that is keeping Zerg in the game is this Protoss has some atrociously bad macro. Like, really fucking bad. I don't know what this guy is fucking doing. This Protoss is a silly man. I don't get it. He's fucking crazy. If any other Protoss is playing you, you should be dead long ago, Tesk, with the way you're playing this out. Okay, but anyways, the game kind of stabilized now because the Protoss is honestly fucking terrible. And now what are you doing? You're going Roaches with, still. Well, you're going into Hydras now, double Evos. I'm okay. I'm on board with it. You're getting Zergling speed. I don't know if I'm on board with that as much at the moment. But I'm okay with it. It's okay. I'm okay with it. It's not the worst upgrade. You could definitely use it for counterattacks or something later on. You're getting Carapace. You're getting range weapons. I like these upgrades as a choice because your opponent looks like he's going Skytoss now. I don't know why you're rushing a Hive so fast, though. I'm not on board with that. I don't know what the point of that is. You're going Lurkers with Hive upgrades super quick. I would question why, unless you've scouted his base. Did you scout his base? You did not. You did see a new Robo. I'll say this. You did see a new Robo at his base. So I'll give it to you, okay? Makes a little bit more sense now. If there was no Robo in his base, especially if you scouted his base, it would be like all you're doing is you're limiting your Hydra count versus Stargates. Which fucking doesn't make any sense. Like, why go Lurkers versus Pure Carrier? But if this guy is also going to go into Robo stuff, then it makes a little bit more sense. Now, to be fair, disruptors are a hard counter to lurkers, so that's going to kind of suck for you now once again. You'd probably be better off just dodging disruptor shots with hydras and then just going mass hydras. Your creep spread is looking pretty decent for how this game's gone so far. That's the only positive I've given you up to this point. What is this guy doing? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I feel like you're going to win this game. And the reason why I feel like you're going to win this game is because I feel like you don't know how to handle weird situations. I feel like you do not know how to handle weird situations. And I feel like this Protoss is a weird situational player. This guy is all weird situations. And now, because the situations have been overall handled to a degree, you are a macro player. And once you're now in your element, you are now crushing this Protoss player like crazy, and this Protoss player sucks cock at macro. Like, I don't know what the fuck this guy's doing. This guy had so many advantages, and he's throwing all of them away, and it's because you're a better macro player than he is by fucking a mile. By a lot. So, yeah. It is what it is. You are out-macroing this guy like crazy. And now that you know he's going disruptors, I would say be very careful about wanting to go lurkers. I would say probably not a great time to go lurkers anymore. If I were you, this is what I would be doing. Protoss does not have a base here. Protoss does not have a base here. Cool. What I should do now is max out as fast as humanly possible from this point on with a good drone count, which you already have. Max out on hydras ASAP, and you can also max out on lings because you have it, access to it now. You have adrenal gland melee, metabolic boosted lings. Make hydra ling to max out on. Spread your creep in this direction as fast as you can, and then once you max, go kill these rocks and go break this base. That's what I would tell you to do. If I were sitting next to you, like live giving you advice during the game, I would. That's what I would tell you to do from the position you're in right now, because the position you're in right now is actually unlosable now if you don't let this guy have money. Think about it. Think about this for a second. What happens if this base dies for Protoss? Also, this Protoss just revealed his entire hand to you. He revealed that he's going disruptors. He revealed that he's going shit macro because he just got a really good disruptor shot and still got completely overpowered because his army was so fucking tiny. He's got no army and he's making disruptors as part of it. And now you know he has high-end Robotech, and you know he does have a Stargate because you know he opened up with he has a Void Ray earlier too. So you don't know he's got carriers yet, but you could still launch an attack on this base pre-lurker because disruptors are good against lurkers, so why wait for lurkers? If you just go and knock this base out, it doesn't matter what he has. He's got no money. That's the real problem. He's had a natural longer than you have because he fucked you over with Cannon Rush. So this base doesn't have too much longer left before patches start disappearing. And this base is already looking pretty fucking sad because the game was really messed up in the early game, so you guys both had late expansions. If you just take his third away from him, he's so dead. So we'll see how you play it out. Keep spreading that creep. Make those units. And go. Hit that third base. Spread that. This creep is like MVP creep teamer right now. This is so important if you understand that process. Why is it so important? You know what is a counter? You know what's a good counter to lurker? A disruptor. But you know what's a good counter to disruptor? It's two things are really good counters to disruptors. Number one is a straight up air unit, because a disruptor can't hit air. But you don't have air, so that's not an option at the moment. Number two is mobility. Speed of your units. You can outrun disruptor shots so fucking easy on creep. And now you see him expanding here. Go kill that fucking thing. Immediately. Good creep tumor spread. What are you doing with your units right now? Tesked. You're driving me crazy with how idle you are. You're getting fancy is what you're doing. Okay. You're missing the beat a little bit, I would say, here. Getting fancy like this makes sense when you and your opponent are on equal footing. When you want to do like some push and pull maneuvers, because your opponent and you are on equal footing. I would say in this game, you are not on equal footing. And the reason why you are not on equal footing is because of everything that's happened up to this point. Your opponent has allowed you to have now, at this point in the game, after all said and done, he's allowed you to have about 70% of the map covered in creep, which means he has 0 map control. And the one time he tried to have map control, he got completely shit stomped. You should not feel like you guys are on equal footing. That's just one part of it, right? That's just one piece of it. That's the army look of the game. You want to know the second part of the game? The second part of the game is your opponent is on 3 bases. You are on 5. You're on 5 bases. He just now started his 4th base. You are actively mining off of 5 bases, whether or not it's little or a lot. You've been mining more than this guy has been mining. And this guy has been mining off of his natural longer than you have been by quite a bit. And your natural is also getting ready to start. It's starting to mine out. Which means your opponent's natural is mining out even faster. His patches are going to be depleting even quicker in theory. But again, this guy's macro fucking sucks. So you guys actually are mining out at the same speed. Because this guy just doesn't fucking macro. Even though he gave himself all the options to do it earlier on. He's not a macro player, as you can tell. So what you should be doing, instead of trying to play a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit there, trying to set up some fights in some weird ways, just fucking go, because you have a advantage in supply. You should know that in multiple ways, through reading the economy and through reading the army. If you just maxed on Roach Hydra, in what world do you think that the Protoss is also maxed out right now? No fucking way is he maxed. In no way is he maxed. He just showed you his army was complete garbage when he pushed you a little bit earlier. All you're doing is giving him time right now. That's all you're doing. And the time is on his side because he's making a better army than you. He's making carriers. And you're sitting there on Hydras doing nothing. And you're doing another little ling poke or something. You're making lurkers. Lurker good, but not so good versus Disruptor. But thank God for you, he only has 1. So it might still work. But what a missed opportunity again for you. Okay, you engaged that really poorly. You dove your lurkers 2 different times. The first time the Protoss didn't take advantage of you for it. The second time he did. 2 different times you dove your lurkers like way far away from your Hydras towards the skytoss as like a zoning technique. But your opponent has now had enough time to make like 9 carriers. And he just decimated your lurkers. And you want to know what's scary about this? This is a logic that, again, people don't know how units work in StarCraft 2 sometimes, and you might not realize how much you just fucked yourself over. But let me explain how much you just fucked yourself over. A carrier has 8 interceptors per carrier. When this guy took a fight against you, there was no reason why he shouldn't have had 8 per carrier. He had plenty of time to make all the interceptors in all of his carriers. Now, a carrier does not unload 8 at once. Go, attack. It's like an aircraft carrier in real life launching planes. Like they have to take off. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Obviously it goes a little bit faster than that. It goes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's like a carrier right there. That's about how fast it goes. But it still has 1 by 1 by 1 by 1 by 1. Okay? Now, when they go back into the carrier, immediately they all load at once. It's a video game. It's not practical where they go one by one back. They all go at once. It's like how Marines drop out of a medevac. When they drop, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But when you want to load them up because banelings are rolling into them, what happens? All 8 at once go into the medevac. And they're just gone, right? The Marines just disappear because they all load in the same second. So if you understand that's how carriers unload their interceptors to attack you, if your Hydras are there when they're going 1, 2, 3, by the time 3 comes out, 1 is dead. By the time 5 comes out, 2 is dead. By the time 7 comes out, 3 is dead. You can kill parts of his carrier interceptors before the other ones are even in the battle yet. You're maximizing Hydra DPS that way. A lot. That's why Hydras perform way better when carriers initiate a fight versus a bunch of Hydras. So the Hydras have a much higher chance of deleting all the interceptors before the interceptors delete the Hydras. Because they're unloading, and before all 8 have unloaded, like 3 have already died per carrier. So now he's fighting you with like 5 payload carriers instead of 8 per carrier. If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Because a lot of people don't understand that. Now, what just happened with what you just did to yourself was you just burrowed your lurkers against carriers, and no Hydras were there to support the lurker. And what the lurkers are supposed to do is the lurkers are supposed to draw the fire of the carrier, but you're supposed to kill the lurker, or kill the interceptor off of the lurker as he engages the lurker. And the beautiful thing about that is no Hydras are dying in the process because lurkers are really tanky and they absorb damage like crazy. So it makes you have a really high chance that you're going to kill the interceptors with your Hydras off of the lurkers. But what you just did was you allowed all 8 interceptors per carrier to fully unload out of the carrier before the Hydras were even there. And then not only that, they killed all of the lurker, and as the last lurkers died, then your Hydras engaged, which means now you're fighting against 8 interceptors per carrier that now shift immediately onto your Hydras. They're all out already, and they're all doing full DPS. They're not unloading 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're all out already. They're there. So now you're eating full fucking damage carriers. You have no advantage on engagement here. Which means your Hydras are all going to eat shit, like really hard. As you can see. You totally ruined the fight for yourself. Now, you still have a chance to win the game. Because this dude is going for Colossus now, which is bad against Lurker. You actually have a good chance now if you just go back into another round of Lurker and Hydra, and you do it properly the second time, you can still win this. Because Lurkers can outrange Colossus, and they can kill the Colossus. Meanwhile, you can kill the Interceptors off of the Lurker, and you could actually fucking own him that way, potentially. Potentially, right? The one thing you don't have is a lot of time, because you just lost everything, and now he's going to go across the map right to your base and start killing your bases. So you have very little time to remax now. And you don't even have enough larva to remax. Or you do, you just aren't using it. I'm just kidding. Your macro is good. Your macro is good. You're, you know, test. Your macro is good. But, like, in terms of, like, prep. But you're not fucking using it, though. Why are you not using it? Why are you supply blocked? I guess you did also bring, like, 8 overseers to that fight. That's a big nail in the coffin for you. And you're not rebuilding them either. You're not realizing what's going on for a while. So much time is passing. There we go. You made 14... Okay, you gotta really... You're panicking so hard. I think you're a panic player. Tusk, you gotta think about numbers a little bit more. You gotta estimate a little bit more. If you need 50 supply, if I were to ask you that and you had a bullet fire and answer back, if I go 50 supply and you tell me how many overlords that's gonna take, if your answer is 14, that is fucking so far off. Each overlord represents about 8 supply. It is exactly 8 supply. It's not about, it's exact. But you can average it in your mind. You could even say each overlord represents maybe even like 10 to make it really easy. And if you told me I need about 5 overlords, I would say that is better than making 14 when you need 50 supply. To make the exact number of overlords, you would have needed to have made 7 overlords, because 7 overlords is 56 supply. Because it's 8 supply per, and 7 times 8 is 56. Now, if you would have made 7, 6, 9, 10 overlords, somewhere in those ranges, like 10's a bit high. Like 7, 9, like 7 is perfect. 8, 9 would have been okay. 5, 6 would have been okay. But as long as you have a rough idea of what you're making, right? You needed to make half of what you made. That's a lot of larvae you just wasted on fucking overlords, and money you just wasted on overlords. And I feel like you did it because you panicked a little bit, and you just held it down for a little while to see what happens. And now at this point, you are absolutely dead because you don't have enough time to regroup an army. You just don't have enough time. And you also definitely need lurkers now that he has Colossus. You didn't need lurkers the first time, I'm not going to lie. If you would have just fucking wit with your Hydras early on when you saw that first disruptor, and you just would have fucking capitalized on his third base with remember that MVP creep tumor, you would have killed him when he had like 2 carriers. And he's trying to switch into carriers. But you waited and you waited and you waited until he had 9 carriers off of 2 Stargates. You waited so fucking long. Yeah, there's no way you win now though, because the reason why is because it's not even about the Colossus, or sorry, it's not even about the carriers anymore. You actually have a decent Hydra versus carrier situation going on here. You've depleted the carrier count pretty hard. Like, look at all these carriers. Like 2, 1, 3, 3, 1. One of them has 8. One of them, it looks like, almost has 0. I think that one has 0, literally. But it's not the worst Hydra versus carrier situation going on right now. The problem for you, though, right now, is that he's got Colossus. And 4 Colossus that are not ever going to be touched because you're currently always distracted by interceptors are going to mow your ass over hard if you have no lurker. You really do need a lurker when there's Colossus in the mix. And another way you could have dealt with this as well, just know, another way you could have dealt with this, if your opponent if your opponent is the kind of player that goes Robo Skytoss, they go Colossus, Carrier, Mothership, Corruptors also fucking own this composition. You don't have to go Lurker Hydra. Now, I would recommend you do it for the simplicity's sake, but Corruptor would destroy this as well. It really would. As long as you have a couple air upgrades of armor. This guy has no fucking weapon upgrades. Dude. Test, you're so much... Test, I'm telling you right now, you are so much fucking better than this Protoss. It fucking hurts to watch you lose to this guy. And it's because you make bad decisions sometimes. I'm telling you right now, you are so... Your fundamentals as a player are so much fucking better than this guy. And hopefully, like, through this analysis, there's some more shit that's been explained that you go, holy fuck, okay. I just need to be more assertive by not fucking around for so long. Because, dude, you have so much more going for you than this guy does. You're like 3-3 and you just died. You're about to be 3-3. You put so much more emphasis in all of the game than this guy does. It's just you have a problem of not being assertive. You just sit on your ass for way too long, way too many times. And you're just like, yeah, there's a zombie eating my arm right now, but fuck it, he hasn't got to my neck yet or my head yet, so I'm fine. Like, you just don't care. You got to be a little bit more assertive about things in the game. Be more quick about your decisions, and yeah, hopefully the things we talked about this game help you. And yeah. Anyways, thanks for doing an analysis test. I love you, man. I hope this helps. You know, tough love, but you know, it's all in good. It's all in good fun. It's all in the purpose of helping you get better, obviously, and he knows that. This is like his 5th time or like 6th time. I don't know. It's been a lot of times with test already. But I hope you guys enjoyed it as well that listened to it. I hope it helps you think about things and realize what's going on. And yeah, test. honestly, you could have won this game probably like 5 times. But little things you could fix to make yourself win in the future. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. And good luck in your own games. And peace, guys. See you next time. Bye.